Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for a new year, to start off an opportunity to make a difference here in Montgomery County. Lord, we thank you for so many blessings. Thank you for this organization. Thank you for the people here in the room today that come to join us for our meetings, and people that's listening or watching online. Lord, just ask you to be with each commissioner today and help us make decisions that's the most benefit for entire Montgomery County. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Good morning. Our visitors today will be Christy Thornton from Emergency Management Agency, Presiding Judge of the 15th Judicial Circuit, Johnny Hardwick, our County Engineer, George Speake, and Hannah Hawk, our Manager of Public Affairs. In addition, I'm going to ask Holly to update everyone on some changes with our medical insurance. Christy.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. December ended pretty grimly when we matched and exceeded our highest month so far with over 3,000 COVID cases. The state of Alabama has 301,486 out of 1,903,388 that have been tested, with 4,259 that have died. And everyone is concerned about the vaccine. As the state of Alabama, we've received 226,250, and according to Alabama Department of Public Health, 42,810 have been administered. In Montgomery County, we do not have those specific numbers on the vaccinations. We do have, 15,243 confirmed COVID cases out of 78,132 that have been tested. 261 deaths, which is 1.7% of the people of Montgomery County that have contracted COVID-19 have died. Currently, our hospitals have over 200 COVID patients. That's an extreme number, and that's one of the largest numbers we've had over the entire time. One thing that I do want to address real quick with y'all is the warming center. I know we've had some concerns with that, and we've had to make some adjustments. One, limited staff, Red Cross not being able to provide volunteers, so we're having to make some adjustments on how and when we will open the warming center. We will be below 32 degrees for 6 or more hours between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. If it drops down to 32 degrees like it will in the morning at 6 o'clock, we're receiving calls and people expecting us to open it, and we just can't. Due to COVID concerns, due to when people show up, they are coming in with a very expected tone. I was told that y'all give me free stuff, give me a cot, give me a blanket, then they want to leave. They don't even want to stay there because we will not allow them to drink and do drugs in our facility. We've had people that can't follow simple rules of do not smoke inside the building. People that refuse to use the bathroom and decide to just urinate in the floor, in the hallways, and have become violent with my staff. We're not public safety. We are not trained as such, and we will not tolerate that. So yes, if you've received complaints that we have kicked people out, yes, we have, and I will take that because it is not our responsibility to take on the mental concerns that with some of these people have and the violent tendencies that they have. We cannot do that. We've had to call the hospital medics 3 times over Christmas holidays. We were there from 4 o'clock in the afternoon Christmas Eve, and we left Sunday around 7 o'clock with some brief time to go home overnight and try to catch a few hours sleep. We've had people complain, well, I've got food allergies, so we will no longer be cooking meals. They will get non-perishable food items, coffee, and water. That's all we can do because we've got complaints, what if I slip and fall in the shower, then I can sue you. Well, you know what you just did? You took away showers for everybody there. We're having to lock down a lot of the amenities that we were trying to provide, and we will be going with the American Red Cross model for a warming center. We're giving you a place to get out of the weather, water, coffee, and some non-perishable snacks. That's what we're just having to do. So, any questions? Thank you very much. Y'all have a great day.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Christy, I want to commend you. I mean, I saw firsthand what you were doing. This lady was there before 6 o'clock, because I got there 6 in the morning. She's already cooking breakfast and caring for these people in a way that just really touched my heart. And you and your entire staff, and the things that you mentioned there, I've witnessed people going into wrong gender bathrooms, everything else that y'all had to put up with. So I really commend you on that.
Commissioner Walker was there when the other lady had a seizure, and they choose to start barking at us about wanting a banana while we're trying to render medical aid. That's kind of gut-wrenching when people are so soft.
Well, you had a shot victim that was brought and dropped off that morning too, and I think you had to call, because when I was leaving, I saw the medics coming in. I thought maybe you had to call them back for that person, and so you're dealing with some unique individuals.
Now we'll go over the items on the agenda to be considered in the formal session. Consider authorization of board member appointments to the Central Alabama Regional Planning and Development Commission. Consider authorization of the fiscal year 2020, I think that should be 2021 County Rebuild Alabama Annual Report. Consider authorization of amendment number 3 to a contract with Signs Now for graphics and lettering for the Sheriff's Office. Consider authorization of miscellaneous appropriations to agencies. Does anyone have anything to add? Consider authorization of miscellaneous appropriations to education. Consider authorization of miscellaneous appropriations from designated revenue. Bear with me, I'm sorry. Consider authorization of bid award to Reynolds Warren Equipment Company for a tandem roller for the engineering department. Consider authorization of position fill requests for the appraisal department for an appraiser 1. Consider authorization of position fill requests for the detention facility for a corrections officer trainee. Consider authorization of a position fill request for the district attorney's office for a legal support assistant. Consider authorization of position fill requests for the youth facility detention, 3 juvenile detention officers. And that's all that is on our agenda for the formal session. Now we'll hear from Judge Hardwick regarding an MOU to fund a salary for a full-time referee in the juvenile court.
Thank you, Ms. Cauthen. Good morning, Commissioners. Happy New Year to you. I'm continuing to try to improve our environment out at the youth facility at the juvenile court. Remember, we talked some months back, pre-COVID, about having a part-time judge serve out there. That sort of fell through because I couldn't get anybody to do the job for the money that we were offering. Our current part-time referee, Referee Toles, has resigned effective December 31, and in my mind, that gave us an opportunity to upgrade that position to a full-time referee position. I've talked with our administrator of courts, Dr. Hobson. He agrees. Dr. Hobson and I talked with the county administrator to inform her and ask her to place this before you, which she has done. And I'm asking that the county and the state share in the expense of a full-time referee, which is sorely needed. We've had weighted caseload studies done, and those studies indicate that we're in need of an additional judge, but I don't see that forthcoming because we are perhaps 13th or 14th on the list, and that's a legislative prerogative that I don't have much to say about. But the only thing that I can impact is to come and ask you to accept the understanding that I have with the administrator, Rich Hobson, to employ a full-time referee. And what that would entail, we would ask that the commission continue its funding level that you presently do. Then AOC would kick in some to up the salary on that position so that we could hire somebody as a full-time referee. So I'm asking you to consider that. I'm asking you to approve that. I think it would be in the best interest of the county for us to do this. Thank you.
I just want to make sure I understand what the MOU. I thought that the agreement was that we would continue to fund the salary
Yes.
and AOC would agree to fund the benefits.
Yes.
Now, you stated that they would be willing to fund any increase in salary as well.
Well, if you take the salary up, it's going to go beyond what you all supply now. And so in doing that, there's going to be some benefits to the position because it'll be a full-time position. And AOC, as I understand it, has agreed to pay those benefits, whatever they calculate out to be, on top of and added with what your contribution is at the present time. I think you pay something like 55. We're asking you to continue to do that. Give us that money, and then we'll work on the other end with AOC to get that salary so it'd be attractive to somebody to want to do the job.
So you're asking us to continue to 55. Is there any additional ask on top of that?
No, that's my understanding.
So it's 55 that we currently give, and then the salary will be $50,195.
No, the salary should go up, and AOC would cover those, that increase, whatever that might be. Now, we haven't decided. I'd like for the salary to be about 80 grand, but I haven't convinced Dr. Hobson that's what it ought to be. But say if we took the salary to 75, then you're in at the 55 that you're doing now, and AOC would do the rest in the benefits.
Now, Judge, but what I'm reading here, and correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm reading here is AOC, the starting salary for a Court 1 referee is $47,000.
Well, yes, but yeah, I got to work with Dr. Hobson on that. He'd like to be there, and I don't think that's going to work out for us.
Yeah, and then AOC is requesting a two-step salary increase, makes it to $50,000. But you're saying that's not.
It can't be that. I don't see us getting anybody. That's one reason, and I think that referee Toles resigned is because she couldn't work for the amount of money that was being paid and the amount of work that was being done. She
It just struck me that the pay for a full-time job was less than what she's getting now. She gets to 55 right now, right?
right.
And we're talking about starting somebody less than that. You can hardly get a lawyer for that.
We're not talking about now. I don't know who wrote that up that way, but what I'm asking you is keep the 55, all right?
That's why I asked for the clarification,
Let
because
me work with AOC, and we'll negotiate and get the salary to what we think somebody would want to take the job.
we
You will only be responsible for your 55.
right.
So just to clarify, we're only responsible for 55.
For
If you
55.
go to AOC and they don't want to put any more in it, and you need 75,
It goes stay at 55. I mean, that's just that simple. Unless I can get Mr. Gallion to chip in a little bit.
to be at 55.
So, yes.
It's fine, we're fine. I just want to make sure.
And I assume that you would continue to pay that 55 on into the future. So
Yeah, we're good.
I'm just trying to build on that, and if we can. I think Dr. Hobson, they tell me we got copper wire because he was holding on to a penny.
We got you covered, Judge.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate
Judge,
it.
excuse me.
Yes, sir.
That position, does, the qualifications, is that for an attorney, has to be an attorney to qualify for that position?
Yes, yes, yes.
And so there's an attorney that's willing to work for full-time, 55,000.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why we got to up it.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, part-time she's working, and she didn't think, she's always asking me for a raise. I mean, I don't give raises. But I think we need a full-time referee. The judges out there are asking for some help. And to me, this was an open window that we could do something. And I approached Dr. Hobson on that. He agrees. We talked to the county administrator. She said she'd bring it to you.
All right, we're gonna do our part.
Well, thank you.
All right.
And I'll handle Rich. We'll kind of smelt down that copper wire and get us a penny. All right. Thank y'all. Have a good day. I've got to go do some work now. Enjoyed being here with you. Prosperous year to everyone.
George, speak.
I don't have any new agenda items, but our Rebuild Alabama, our annual Rebuild Alabama Act is presented in the agenda.
Anna Hawk.
Good morning. Just wanted to let you know that the legislative coffee is scheduled for Tuesday, January 12th at 10 a.m. in the Sheriff's Office muster room. Thank you to the Sheriff for hosting that. And then also, you have a copy of the ACCA virtual district meetings, the date. So for Montgomery County, it is January 6th, and it will be at 1:30, and you can sign on virtually for that. You also have a calendar of all the commission meetings for this year. Thank you.
Holly, our risk manager.
Good morning. I just want to remind you all now that we've hit the new year, we've also got new benefits that we've changed that were approved back during the summer. So the biggest change is the pharmacy benefit. We did move to Express Scripts, which is being administered through RX Benefits. So new ID cards went out towards the end of the year. I have heard numerous people tell me they got them, but they never opened them. So make sure you open them and use them, and department heads, make sure that you remind your employees that if they get prescriptions filled, they'll need to use their new cards. If there are any disruptions or any things that members were on that aren't covered, letters went out early December notifying them of that. I also sent out an email on December the 11th with the same packet that went out to all of them with a temporary ID card, so that if for some reason employees didn't get their cards, that temporary ID card would work at any pharmacy. The employees can also use CVS now, which under Blue Cross they couldn't use, and so that is another benefit. So if anybody has any questions or problems, let me know. The feedback I have gotten so far has been wonderful. Anybody that RX Benefits has called to help work through any issues, I've had some employees call me back and say thank you, they were so helpful. So, y'all have any questions on any of that?
The benefit is basically the same though, right?
Everything's the same, the co-pays and everything. The formulary is different. Pharmacy programs can change their formularies every 6 months. So even if we had stayed with Blue Cross, their formulary changes every 6 months as well. So about a month to 2 months before that formulary change, any disruptions that members will see receive letters. The members will receive letters to notify them. So those went out for our change of our plan the 1st of December. So to this point, any disruptions, I would hope had already been corrected, but anybody that's still having problems, if they'll notify me, I can notify RX Benefits and have somebody call them immediately. They've been pretty quick on responding. But I do know we've already had over 200 prescriptions filled since the first of the year, so it is working. Thank you.
We have two items that are considered future agenda items. The first, contract with ICS Solutions for the inmate telephone and video visitation services for the detention center.
Next agenda.
Can I ask a question on that, Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Sheriff, excuse me. On this particular arrangement here, why is ICS able to give us a large percentage of the revenue? How does that work, and what are your obligations to them? Yeah, in terms of, the platform or setting up any facilities, et cetera.
When you sent it out for bid, you had, probably 6 different companies that come in. And ICS Solutions, that's the price that they came back with, because we changed our bid this year to a 3-year, and then they can renew for another 3 years, up to another 3 years, so that they can replace all of the equipment. The problem that we were having is awarding a bid on a 2-year basis, and they're putting in millions of dollars worth of equipment, and they may lose the bid in 2 years. So now we changed the way that we did our bids so that this will allow them to be able to give us a lower price and to charge lower rates. And if you read that bid, you see where their rates are very low, and they don't charge a service charge to every phone call. They charge by the minute. And everything that we do goes through the PCS. We can't make a bid up and throw it out, so we have to sit down and talk with the PCS and make sure that everything we're doing is doing by law. So this bid has been vetted through them because last year, well, not last year, the last time we did a bid, we ended up in legal action behind the bid. And so we had to go back through the PCS, and then they granted the approval for those changes that we were making. Because right now, the bids will be going down, the amount will be going down as far as the calling rates. Our bid already reflects those lower rates.
So when they come up with this rate and this significant share that the commission receives, is it based upon daily population, or how are they?
They go by the daily population of today. They can't go into the future.
Mm-hmm.
So it's based off of today's population.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. That's the main reason why we send it through the PCS. We don't deal with this. And as far as on this bid right here, we went through the PCS, and we're looking after it for you all. The sheriff don't get anything off of this, nothing. This goes all, what you're looking at goes to the commission. So everything we do so that we don't have to worry about legal down the road.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thanks, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So that can go on the next agenda. The final item we have as a future agenda item is the bid award to Climate Service for preventive maintenance on the HVAC for various county buildings.
Florence, on that, there was only one company that bid on it. I mean,
Correct.
it's hard to believe there's just one air conditioning company in Montgomery, Alabama, that would even,
I think 3 attended the pre-bid meeting.
but only one bid on it. So I'm curious why. Any idea why nobody would even bid?
Normally, on this bid right here, the reason why you're probably going to get Climate Service, the only one that's doing most of the bidding. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the sheriff again, if y'all didn't know.
Okay.
okay, is because they're the person or the company that has installed most of our VAVs in this building. They've done all of our, pretty much work with our contractors on our renovations. And I know in the jail, when we did our renovations and they came in and took over the maintenance over it, but they're the only ones that come in and do it, and they know what the systems are like. And if somebody else come in, they're looking at, well, we're gonna have to either buy from a contractor we never bought from, and see, and that's where the problem comes into play. And that's why you don't get a large amount of people or companies to participate in these bids, because they're gonna spend more money trying to buy the make and model of the series that we already have in this county to be able to keep them running. And Climate Serve's the person that we've been utilizing. I can speak from them as far as on the jail side, because they're there every weekend. I mean, air conditioner go down or the heater goes down, that's who we call, and they're there 24/7.
So this covers everything.
All the county complexes.
So if the air conditioning goes down, it's fully 100% covered.
Yeah.
No deductibles, no nothing.
Well, our county maintenance staff will come in and do the preliminary. There may be something that they can go back and reboot or reset to get it back running. But if it's something that needs major attendance, then Climate Serve will come in and.
Do they replace filters too?
No, there's a different company that does that. But they come in and do monthly inspections. They have a checklist of what they do. We can refer to that, see any recommendations they've made. It's a lot of money, but their ability to respond 24/7 makes a big difference. Their price is about, I think, $10,000 less this year than the prior bid.
Okay. No issue with them. I do have some concerns on replacing filters, having a company come in and replace a filter. But that's a different time.
Right.
Next agenda.
Those are all the items to be considered in the information session.
Mr. Chairman, I have one other that I want to bring up if I could. Leadership Montgomery has approached me or contacted me about continuing to support them, and they want to know if they need to come before the commission and present again, or I told them that we would maybe discuss it and decide whether we want them to come before us again or what we want to do.
I think all of you have attended Leadership Montgomery, right? What do you all feel? Dan?
Cheryl, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, what level are we supporting them now?
Right, that's what I was going to, Cheryl, please remind us our fiscal relationship with Leadership Montgomery.
What, 20,000?
Well, there was a 3-year deal, and I always forget what the deal was.
Actually, I think it was a 2-year deal that started maybe 5 years ago. They were actually funded by the chamber, and they got funding from the chamber. And I think when the chamber had some funding cuts, they cut the funding to Leadership, and they asked the city and the county for 2 years to give them $40,000 till they could get their funding, basically set and in-house. And I think since then so we did those 2 years, and then they came back a couple years, I think, and have asked for funding.
40,000 total or 40,000 from each entity?
I think it was 40,000 from each entity, and, but they're not in the budget.
The city cut the chamber. So the chamber cut Leadership.
Do you know what level the city supports the Leadership Montgomery?
No, I'd have to look back at that.
I would really like for the commission to, let's decide on, I'm a huge supporter of Leadership Montgomery, everybody knows that, and it's making an impact in Montgomery. I would like for us as a commission to decide what we want our annual giving to Leadership Montgomery to be and establish that as an ongoing. They have to scramble every year and come to us and ask, and all the locals have a little bit left them twisting in the wind. I would really like for us as a commission to think through what we want to do annually and just establish that, so they'll know what to expect from year to year to year.
Cheryl, do you have a copy of their annual operating budget? The Leadership Montgomery, what are they?
No, I couldn't get one though, probably, and we can see
We need to see that.
what their other funding is.
I agree. It's important that we support them and keep, they're very valuable, not just to the county, they're valuable, more valuable to the city. And the city started this. I remember, I've been supporting Leadership Montgomery for quite a while now, and I know the politics behind the city cutting them and all of that. And it was nasty, and it was ugly, and it shouldn't have happened. And we have a new mayor now, and an opportunity to set things right again. That organization is as important to the city of Montgomery as it is to the county of Montgomery, and they should show it. So I think they should be funded. I think that the funding should be in our budget and regularly, but I think that this is something we need to work out with. We don't need to take this on by ourselves. This thing was started. It never had to happen the way it did, and we have a chance now to correct it. I think so. I think we ought to talk to the city and try to
The
Uh,
get.
city gives, I just got a text, city gives 35,000 and Montgomery County Commission gives 23,000. That came from Cheryl Johnson.
Okay, I'll look in the cities, I guess they have it in the budget. I'll look back and get the information on leadership's budget and
Yeah.
those.
And I'd like to see the three entities get together and decide what's good for them from both of us together, and then we do it, you know? But this is just too important to this region. Actually, these other little areas around it should be chipping in, but I'm satisfied with the city and the county doing this, but we need to do it. It's important.
So you'll who's going to get the budget from Leadership Montgomery?
I'll ask for it.
Okay, and then will you disseminate that to us so we can look over it and agreed, Dan, we need to have a meeting of the minds, and we need to establish this and move forward and stop leaving them twisting.
Okay.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Any other commissioner got some other items they want to talk about? Send to the commission. No? You got something else?
No, sir.
Recess.
9:40, 20-minute break.
We will have a clock back on the wall before the next meeting.
Okay, now we would take a 20-minute break before we come back into our formal session.